Hello everyone, TAC1421 here with an episode of Mega Moveset. Today we're going to be covering another new Mega Pokemon in Mega Steelix. And Mega Steelix is really cool. It's gotten me really excited, and it's kind of at the top of my list near where Mega Sceptile is as far as new Megas go, because it's got some really awesome new stat increases, and it's just pretty darn cool. I just really like the looks of it too. So Mega Steelix, and when regular old Steelix came out, I was really excited about Steelix because it just, Onyx was kind of cool to me at the time when I was little, and just the whole, new Steel type, and how when it used to be the new Steel type, and when Steelix came out, he was one of the first Steel type Pokemon, and also Scizor was one of the new Steel type Pokemon. So both of those Pokemon really fascinated me, and it was one of those things where I came to really both hate and like Steelix at the same time, because you needed, normally in the game, the playthroughs of both like Gold and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and regular old Silver version, you only were given one metal coat, and essentially in order to get Steelix or Scizor, you had to have either an Onyx or a Scyther, and then have the metal coat and trade it, and then trade back with your friends. So you'd only be able to get one in past generations, because you just were only able to ever obtain one metal coat through the playthrough of the game. So it was just one of those things where it's like, I really like Scizor, but I really like Steelix, and normally Scizor was the Pokemon that I chose in those different versions to obtain. So that's kind of where the background comes as far as Mega Steelix goes, and not Mega Steelix, but Steelix, and my fascination with Steelix and all that stuff. So Mega Steelix is pretty cool, and I already have a Scizor, so I'm going to be trading that over to my new Omega Ruby game when I eventually get it, when it comes out on November 21st. And who knows, maybe when you're watching this, it's already November 21st, you've already been using Steelix, and you just want to find out a new Mega Moveset for it. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this one. But essentially, when I do get the game for myself, I'm not going to have that hard decision on who to choose from, because I already have the Scizor, so I'm going to get myself a Steelix in this one, if there is an option, of course. Who knows, maybe you have a way of getting more metal coats in this one, I don't know. So anyways, Mega Steelix is still regular old ground and steel type, as you can see, so nothing really changes there. The ability, I don't like it too much. This is we're looking at Steelix and Mega Steelix stats, and I've used Steelix before in the NU tier. It's kind of solid. It's pretty good in the NU tier, just because it has so much defense. It's one of the biggest defenses in the game, so it's kind of crazy that it has 200 defense. And this is a very similar moveset that I would use on a regular old Steelix. And now that the stat raises have increased and all that stuff, I'm hoping that the same situations between Steelix and Mega Steelix will stay, and it will be kind of similar. I'm predicting this to fall somewhere in the UU tier. I don't think it's really an OU type Pokemon, but maybe some people will use this a little bit differently. I know there's other movesets you can possibly use out there. This is just one of the ones that I really like, and I've used on regular Steelix before, and I'm hoping that it'll be just as good on a Mega Steelix. So essentially on a regular Steelix, I would use something like Leftovers. Now we have to use the Steelite, or whatever it's called. So yeah, as far as abilities go, there's a lot of different ones you can use on regular old Steelix, but you have Rockhead, Sturdy, and Sheer Force. I would go with Sturdy. I think it's just a pretty good one. Now you're going to probably want to Mega Evolve right away anyways, so I don't think any of these are going to come into play, but you might as well have Sturdy if anything, because who knows, it might come in handy. Now the stat raises are pretty good. So the speed stays the same. The special defense goes from 65 to 95, which is great. The special attack stays the same, which is good, because we're not focusing on special attack at all. And the defense goes from 200, I'll say that again, 200 to 230. So it was already like the best in the game. Now it gets even better at 230. The attack goes from 85 to 125, which is amazing. So that's good. So yeah, and the HP stays the same, which we're also going to increase a little bit as far as our EV spread goes. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this EV spread, and I really like it. So this is kind of cool. Now I put 248 into the HP. So we make this, we keep it at an odd amount just in case it comes into play. So 353, pretty solid HP. That's a lot of HP to have, so I'm happy about that. You're going to be able to take a lot of hits, especially with the bulk on this thing. So we also do we increase the defense by 16. I chose 16 because I wanted to see a Pokemon have 500 defense, and it's very, very rare to have a Pokemon. I think the only other thing that can have like 500 defense, to my knowledge, is probably like a Shuckle or something, or a Mega Aggron. I could be wrong. There could be other things out there. That's just at the top of my head, maybe, that have that base defense. I think there's a possible way of having a Mega Slowbro with that amount of defense, because it did get boosted to like 180, I believe. So if you do raise it, if you do max out the defense with Mega Slowbro, I think you could get to 500. So I'm not quite sure, though. I haven't really looked at Mega Slowbro too much. So I know Mega Slowbro is like broken. I've seen it in action, and it's really good. But we're talking about Mega Steelix here, and I wanted to see it at 500, so that's why I put 16 in there. The special defense we're also going to increase to add to the bulk. You notice that we put all 3 stats that are increasing in some kind of bulky way, in the HP, defense, and special defense, just to make it so that it can take more hits. And the 125 attack is already really strong. I didn't feel like I needed to boost that up that much or do anything crazy with the attack. Essentially, this is going to be kind of a bruiser type of Pokemon, that it's going to be a rest, sleep, talk type Pokemon that can, for the most part, take at least 2 hits in between resting, and while you're resting and sleep, you can sleep talk and get a good amount of damage out there. Let's go ahead and go into the moveset now. So we talked about rest, we talked about sleep talk. Essentially, this is a very similar moveset to Mega Aggron that I covered, and I've actually done movesets. I've done live sessions with Aggron before, so it's going to be the same type of Pokemon. It's essentially pretty similar as far as typing goes, and similar in types of stats and all that. So if you want to check out Mega Aggron and how that's used, we're going to use Mega Steelix in the same kind of fashion pretty much. So the 2 moves that we're going to be using besides Rest and Sleep Talk are Earthquake and Heavy Slam, and those are going to be for stab. So Earthquake hits for 100 power, plus stab is really strong. It's going to be hitting for a good amount of damage, I believe 150, so that's really good. And if you do manage to hit something, if you sleep talk and get Earthquake, and it's going to be dishing out a good amount of damage, and it's very, very good coverage. The other move here is Heavy Slam, and this does more power the heavier the user than the target, and it's just a very, very good steel type move for both Aggron and Steelix. So I'm not sure who's heavier between Steelix and Aggron. Maybe if you know that for a fact, you can leave that in the comments. I don't know who's going to be dishing out more damage between the 2 of them, but 125 base attack with Heavy Slam is very, very powerful with a heavy Pokemon like Steelix. So if you do manage to go against like a really small type Pokemon, like a bird Pokemon who's probably not too heavy, or just something that doesn't weigh that much, this is going to be doing a lot of damage. So watch out for Heavy Slam. Essentially, you're going to want to use Rest when you get down low, and you can also use this Pokemon to take any special conditions. So if something goes for like a burn or something like that, you can switch into Steelix. If something goes for a toxic, you're immune because you're steel type, which is great. If something goes for a paralyze, any kind of anything like that, you can switch in and use Steelix to kind of take that particular status condition, and then rest it all away. So that's really great. Sleep Talk, you rest for 2 turns, so you want to keep in mind how many turns you are asleep for, and during the 2 turns that you are asleep, you can Sleep Talk and hopefully get an Earthquake or a Heavy Slam. You have a 33% chance to get Earthquake, you have a 33% chance to get Rest, and you have a 33% chance to get Heavy Slam. So just keep that in mind. There essentially is a 66% chance that you are going to go for an attacking move. So there's that 33% chance to get Rest, and it's not going to do anything. So just, it's kind of a random kind of thing what you get, but essentially the main goal is to be able to take at least 2 hits and then rest it all away. You are going to be slower than a lot of things, so you might want to keep in mind you're probably going to need to take 3 hits before you get the rest off, so that's just something to think about. So that is basically Mega Steelix in a nutshell. If you want to make it shiny, it's pretty cool. I did not cover what Sand Force is, and I don't think they have the shiny sprites yet, so we'll have to wait and see for that. But essentially the ability Sand Force, I would have liked to see a better ability, but if you do have a Sandstorm type team, this could be a pretty powerful Pokemon to put on there. Put on your Sandstorm type team. So essentially Sand Force, this Pokemon's rock, ground, and steel attacks do 1.3 times in Sandstorm. You're also immune to the Sandstorm, so you don't get buffered by it. You don't take damage in between turns. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to put Sandstorm on there just because I like this Rest Sleep Talk with a dual stab type of Pokemon a lot better, and it's worked for me in the past with Mega Aggron, and it's really good. And I've used Mega Aggron with this exact basic moveset, and it's done really well for me. So I wanted to try this one out, and I wanted to bring this to your guys' attention that this probably can work, and it's pretty powerful. And besides just dishing out a lot of damage, it takes a lot of hits. It takes all the status conditions if you predict them, and it's just a great Pokemon to have on your team. So try out Mega Steelix for yourself when the game comes out, or if it's already out, try it out, go for it. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to leave any comments down below as far as what moves you'd rather see, I don't know. For this particular moveset, there's not really any other moves you want to put on there. I think the dual stab is really good, and the only other move that I would possibly think about putting on there is something like a Dragon Tail, because it works really well with Rest and Sleep Talk, because you have that 33% chance of getting Dragon Tail. And if you have like Stealth Rocks up or some kind of hazards up there, then you can continue to take hits and then also hit them with the Dragon Tail damage and the hazards damage. So that's the only other thing that I would consider taking place of either Earthquake or Heavy Slam in this particular moveset. But I really like the dual stab. I think it's pretty solid. I really like Pokemon that have the ability to Rest and Sleep Talk and dish out dual stab. So I think this is going to be a good Pokemon. So again, leave some likes down below and some comments, and let me know how you like this one. Use it for yourself, and I will see everyone in the next Mega Moveset episode. Peace.